Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you were a first timer, then thank you guys for being here. What we teach here, what we show here on this channel is about to change the way that you guys have ever traded before in your life. So this strategy that we teach, that we go through, is by far the easiest strategy that you guys will ever come across. I promise you that. It really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. That's the numbers that you see on the screen here. Okay, we go through all that stuff. This is our watch list for Thursday, June 15th, or sorry, Wednesday, June 15th. I run through these watch lists for you guys is it Wednesday? Thursday. It's for Thursday. Thursday, June 15th. My apologies. I do these watch lists for you guys for free every single day. I do break it down into a top 5 for the Griswold Gold members in the Discord that I have. Now, that Discord is free to join for you guys. The link is in the description below. Absolutely free for you guys to join in on that Discord. There is a paid portion of it. You don't have to join that portion of it, but there's a lot of rooms within that free Discord, okay? Let's get started on this list. I want to go through one quick thing here. What you see at the top here, Trading View. If you're new to day trading, you're going to need something like this. So what I've done is I've provided a link down below. That link gets you a free 30-day trial to TradingView. And then if you decide to use it and get their sub service, you get up to I can't remember if it's $15 or $30 off, but you get money off of your subscription. But you need to start by clicking on that link, so you can do that at the end of this video. Now, this list, guys. At the end of this list, I'm going to run through SPY real quick because we had the Fed meeting today, the FOMC, for the interest rates. Now, I always give my followers information on how to trade that. There is one really, really good way to trade the FOMC, the Fed meeting, for the interest rates. There's one really good way, and it's worked an overwhelmingly majority of the time. It's not quite 100 because a few of the last times it hasn't worked, but I would say it's probably at a 98% clip over the last 30 times. Okay, and it worked again today. I'm going to show you exactly what happened and how you could have played it. But let's go through this list first. We'll go through some things, and let's get you guys set up for Thursday morning. Okay, so inside bar on Adobe. So an inside bar, guys. And again, if you have questions, you can leave them in the chat section to the right. I think if you're a subscriber, you can leave comments, questions, whatever you have. If not, if you're watching this after the fact, after it's live, then you can leave your comments down below, or you can leave them on Twitter or in the Discord, okay? At Mr. Clark Griswold is my Twitter handle, at Mr. Clark Griswold. So inside bar. Guys, an inside bar is a consolidating candle. It doesn't break the high or the low of the previous candle. It stays within the range. These are what I tell new traders or struggling traders to look for all the time. You notice it's yellow. It's painted yellow. We have the candlestick numbers. There's the 1. I have this because of an indicator that I created for you guys, the Griswold Strat indicator. That link is located in the comment or in the description below for that indicator. It also is part of the Griswold Gold membership if you get that. So an inside bar, okay? It's a consolidating range. And I say it's almost like an inverse broadening formation because what we have happen here is this. Okay, I'm going to show you guys real quick and then we'll continue on here. Basically this. We have what some people would call a flag. So it's a tightening range and we're looking for an explosion outside of that inside bar. Okay, and you can see that's exactly what we had off of this inside bar. We had this big break to the downside, and that's always what we're looking for off of those inside bars. Okay, so that's why I tell people to look for them. It allows potential for big breakouts. Okay, let me just delete this one, and we'll continue on. There we go. So we can look for calls on this at 483.85. There's the number there off of the yellow line, or puts at 473.20. And then we just look for it to hit targets. And the way we mark out the targets, top of the preceding wicks for calls, bottom of the preceding wick for puts. And then you can put your next target and your next target, and then there's a gap here, so we would mark targets within. We'll go over that if we see any other gaps. But we have full time frame continuity, so this is another important part of this strategy, guys, and I have a video on it, time frame continuity video. So we have all these arrows, also part of my indicator that I created. Gives you guys a lot of things in that indicator. Time frame continuity. This is the hourly. That's the H. It's the hourly chart, the daily chart. This is the weekly, the monthly, quarterly, and the yearly. This tells you which direction the stock or the ticker symbol is trading on each one of those charts. It's telling me there's buyers on Adobe right across the board on this thing, okay? So the higher probability play is for calls on Adobe off of this inside bar. And the reason I use the word probability is because when we look at any strategy, and if you're new to the strat, great. If you're not, great. But any strategy you're looking at, whether it's this one or something else, is always based off of probability, guys. It has to, because no one knows what this next candlestick is going to be, how it's going to play out. We can say probability-wise what it could be or what it should be, but that's it. And so after probability, and it doesn't work for us, how are we getting out? And that's why the strat is so great, because it gives us exit points as well as entry points. And that's something that really changed the game for me when using the strat. I always had entry points on stuff, but I never really knew how to get out of something. And that's what the strat teaches really, really well compared to other strategies and other people with other strategies who are teaching that stuff. This strat tells you exactly where to get in, where to get out. Each candlestick tells a story. It tells you where to get in. It tells you where to get out. You don't need the RSIs, the MACDs. You can use them. You just don't need them. Okay, so that's Adobe. That's the inside bar. Let's go on to Google. So Google has this 2 down green. So we had an inside bar, which in the strat we call an actionable signal. There are 3 actionable signals within the strat. There's the inside bar, high probability play. There's this hammer candle where we have this body and a long wick to the bottom that's 2 times the size of this normally. Okay, 2 times the size of this body. That's a hammer candle. That's an actionable signal. And the third one is a shooter candle, which is exact opposite of a hammer candle. That's right here, where we have the body at the bottom and the big long wick to the top. Okay, so we have a hammer candle. We have a 2 down, which means it only broke the low of the previous candle. There's 2 downs and 2 ups. Okay, so we went over the 1 or the inside bar. The 2 down only breaks the low of the previous candle, but it finished green. So again, when it finishes green instead of red, it's a 2 down green instead of red. That tells me there's a higher probability of this play trending back to the upside when Thursday opens up. Okay, so I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to mark out the target with you guys. That is the first target. Okay, just like that. And again, you notice we have this time frame continuity in our favor on Google. So we can look for calls there at 124.79. We move on to Facebook. Not quite a hammer candle, but we have that setup where we have the 2 down green and we have the full time frame continuity. So we can look for calls to the upside with triggers at 274.99. When I take my entries, guys, on my option plays, I take the closest expiry I can. So for SPY, that's the same day. For Meta or Facebook, that's probably going to be a Friday expiry, this Friday. So I will take that Friday expiry, and I take 1 to 2 strikes off of my trigger price. So my trigger price is 274.99 here. I'd be looking maybe 275, probably not. But if there's a 275.50 or a 276, that is my strike price that I am taking, okay? And Marlon B says you better have AMD for tomorrow. We'll see, Marlon. I think it's on here. So that's the setup for Meta. We'll move on to Oracle. So Oracle has the same thing, 2 down green, full time frame continuity, which is important. Now, we don't need all the time frame continuity in our favor. For sure, we need the hourly and the daily when we're day trading. Everything else is a bonus. So the weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, I always call that a bonus, meaning there's just a higher probability that trade works out in our favor. So I don't need them, but it tells me it's a potentially higher probability trade. So calls at 122.51 and first target at 123.99 on Oracle. We move on to Apple. So Apple's a little different. So we do have a 3 bar. So we talked about the inside bars. We talked about the 2 ups, the 2 downs. Now we have a 3 bar. So a 3 bar breaks both the high and the low of the previous candle. It started as an inside bar, as a 1 bar. It went to a 2 down and then started to reverse back up and became a 3 bar. Okay? So normally I don't have 3 bar setups here, but we do have a a hammer candle here with full time frame continuity. So I'm going to look for a setup here with a trigger at 184.39 on Apple. And then the first target, again, I just marked out the next preceding high wick, which is right here. That is your target, okay? So that's the setup for Apple. We move on to AMC. AMC is not something I like to normally go over because it's AMC. And it's trading in a smaller frame here, 508 to 482. It's a smaller, it's just something because of what has happened with it. It's one of those meme stocks, and it's come a long, long way down. Not something I usually have on here, but it is an inside bar, so you guys can watch that for tomorrow as well. AMD, Marlin B. Okay, this is it, buddy. 3-1 setup. Important setup because it's something that's rare. It doesn't happen very often. So we have this outside bar preceded by an inside bar. Now, there's a couple things on this setup that we're going to go through, okay? Outside bar we talked about, inside bar we talked about. You notice a gold highlight? That's also part of my indicator. It helps you guys identify stuff like this. The other thing that I've got with the Griswold Gold membership is a live trading bot. It sends out, and I've sent some of these out on Twitter today. Okay, if you go check my Twitter feed, I sent them out as they came in on a few of them. Okay, just to give you guys a heads up. But they'll give you setups like this, these 3-1 setups. They'll give you these setups on the 5, the 15, the 30, and the hourly chart. It'll send out saying, you know, we're currently in a 3-1 setup. This is something you should go look at. Okay, so that's what we've got on AMD, 3-1 setup. If we go back and look at the last time there was a 3-1 setup on AMD, and all I have to do is scroll back and look for the gold highlight, okay, the gold indicator, and there it is. Okay, that's part of my indicator that I created for you guys. So we have to go all the way back to January of 23, where we had this outside bar, inside bar. And remember when I told you guys these things tell a story? Well, here's the story. It basically said if we trigger here, you can look for it to potentially hit targets here. So we opened and we hit targets and a little more and then came back. So if you would have followed this trade and taken your profits, you would have done well. And I'm going to tell you guys in a second after we go through this. So 3-1 setup is essentially, this is just an inside bar is what we're looking at, but it is preceded by an outside bar. It's a rare setup, a rare pattern, doesn't happen very often. So let's put in our targets, and we can look for this to trend either way. The thing that we do have here that we would look for is this hammer candle and an inside bar. So two actionable signals. We can look for this to trend up. We've got most of the time frame continuity. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly are almost all in our favor outside of the week. But if we go to the week and take a look and see where it's at, it's not going to take much to flip this week back to the upside. So this was a 2-down green on the week, last week. This week, we trended above that. So we are a 2-up on the week. We'll see if we can continue that trend on AMD as we go into Thursday. But there's the inside bar on AMD. What I was going to say, a lot of people ask me about a lot of people who are new to the Strat say, you know, what's the win rate on the Strat? It's a loaded question. It's not something you can answer with clarity because not everybody trades off the same time frames. Not everybody has the same risk assessment on a trade. Any strategy can work for any one person, guys and gals. Any strategy. The issue is how good of a trader are you? How good are you at risk management? How good are you at protecting your capital? And I've said this 100 times. Myself and one of you on the other side of this screen can take this trade. Okay? I can take this trade. We can both move in it at the same time at 127.73 if it trends to the upside. We can both take the exact same trade. But I can go down to a smaller time frame. My risk management tells me to do that. Tells me to go down to something smaller. So for me, it's the 5. For you, it might be the hourly, the 30 to 15. It doesn't matter. For me, it's the 5. Okay? So I can jump into this trade and I can take 30% off of it. And you can say on your end, 30%, I don't like 30%. I'm looking for more. And I might hit my target, okay, here, or I might hit my reversal on a smaller time frame, and this thing might just tumble throughout the day. But I've taken my 30% and you're still holding on to it. That's the risk management, risk assessment part of it. So I know my risk. I know what I'm willing to lose. I know what I'm willing to gain. Okay? And I can take 25% every single day and I would be absolutely fantastically fabulous with that. I would have no problems with it. Some people, a lot of people, and a lot of the reason why people get wrecked in trading is because they want this magical potion that's going to make them just rich quick. And this isn't what this is. Okay? If you're looking for that, take a shot in the dark on something in the in the OTC. Okay? Because that's not what this is. This is a base hits program that will allow you to trade consistently and successfully over a period of time. And as you build up your account, that is what will lead you to greater wins, bigger wins. Not bigger percentages, but bigger dollar value wins because you're trading with more money as you get confidence. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So win rates on the Strat, it depends on you guys. It depends on the people on the other side of this screen on whether you guys want to be winners or losers, because this strategy shows you exactly how to get in and how to get out. And don't forget, at the end, we're going to go through SPY. I took a SPY trade today. I did 25% based off of the Fed strategy that we have. Okay? So we move on to Beyond. Beyond, inside bar. Again, consolidating candle, doesn't break the high or low. We're going to look for this. Triggers at 14.13, puts at 13.27. We move to CRM, 2 down green. We can look for those calls at 211.71. Ford Motor Company, 2 up, finished red. So again, this is what we talked about with the 2 down to finish green. This is the opposite. So we have a 2 up to finish red. So we're going to look for these puts back to the downside at $13.97 trigger, not strike price, but trigger, and the first target at $13.89. So we can look at, a $14 a strike price, $13.50 strike price. Let's move that back up. Marlon B says winning percentage is more trader related than strategy related. And that's absolutely true. Like I said to Marlon and everybody else, any strategy, like Marlon could use this strategy, he could use the Galifianakis strategy. I don't know, make something up. Whatever it is, he could use it. But if he sucks at trading and he has terrible risk management and he's YOLOing every trade, he's going to have a crappy winning percentage. He's going to be a bad trader. And listen, it's not winning percentage, because in this game, guys, in the game of trading, the business of trading, you can be 1 for 3 or 1 for 4 on a trade and be successful. You can win 25% of your trades and be successful. You can, and in baseball terms, you can bat 250. You can bat 333 and be a really, really successful player in this business. Okay? General Motors, 2 up red. We look for puts here as well at 37.04. JP Morgan, 2 up red also. Puts at 140.70. 2 up red on IBM and a shooter candle. So we can look for puts here. 136.94 is our trigger price. First target at 136. Lucid Motors, not something that the Strat Soldier likes, but I'm going to put it on here because we have that fantastic 3-1 setup. If we go into Lucid and just scan back, look for that gold bar. Last time we had the 3-1, big gap. Okay, so we had that. Then we had a 3-1 with an inside bar. And let's go look at one more here. 3-1. This is another, guys, this is another prime example. These 3-1, these golden setups. Outside bar, inside bar, boom. Okay, this is probability. The probability of this happening is high. And that's why we look at this stuff. 3-1 setup, boom to the downside. This would have been a fantastic trade, a fantastic win if you would have been on that trade. So I'm not saying that's going to happen tomorrow with this one, okay? But that's the type of stuff we look for. That's why we do this. That's why we base it off of probability, because it tells us that when we go back in the past and on history, and that's what we're going to talk about about the Fed meeting and the Fed video at the end here, it's probability based, okay? And that's all we really need to look at and look for is high probability setups. Moderna inside bar calls it 128.62, puts at 124.61, and I put that first target to the bottom side in for you guys. Here again, while we're here, here's a 2 down green, hammer candle. Okay? We talked about these. We talked about probabilities. We talked about actionable signals. Here's an actionable signal in force. Boom, to the upside. Again, guys, high probability plays with high success rates of these setups, these strategies working out for us. Here's an inside bar. Shoots to the upside. Here's a 2-up red that's pretty close to a shooter candle. And look what happens. Nailed it to the downside. Here's another inside bar. Hammered it to the downside. Okay? High probability setups. That's what we look for. XLU, 2-up red, shooter candle. Really nice time frame to the downside. So we look for those triggers at 66.09. And we mark our first targets at the bottom of the preceding wick. That was XLU. We go to XEL. And again, just like we looked at that hammer candle before, the hammer candle outside bar, now we have a shooter candle outside bar. So there's a couple things that I want to look at with this one. Time frame continuity, shooter candle. So we're looking for this to have this actionable signal go in force, just meaning we break this low. Okay, so let's put the trigger in there for you guys just so you have it, and we'll mark it in yellow. And the other reason I put this on here is because these two pink lines. So these two pink lines represent an inside bar from the previous week. I put those on here. There's also this yellow circle telling me that we are still inside bar. So if I go to the weekly chart, we have this inside bar and we're looking to break out of it, and we're super close to going 2 down on the week with Thursday and Friday remaining. So that's one of the reasons I put XEL on here, despite it being a outside bar. And we look here, shooter candle, outside bar, ready to break out of that inside bar on the weekly for XEL. Okay, so that's why I looked at this one. I would say if you're looking for there's no sure bets. But again, really high probability play that this thing goes 2 down on Thursday, and a good opportunity to make some money on XEL as we open up tomorrow. Okay, I want to talk about SPY because I put out videos for you guys on the Fed meeting. There's a couple of them that I have, and it's played out almost exactly every single time. And anybody who's in the Discord or has followed me for a while can attest to that. Okay? So what happens is at 12 p.m. at noon my time, so 2 Eastern, what happens is we get a big break to one direction or the other. And again, that's exactly what happened. Okay? And the video that I have runs through this with you guys. It tells you exactly how to do it. So I'm down on the 5-minute chart, but 12 p.m. lunchtime my time, 2 Eastern rolls around, and boom, we get this big break to the downside. And then what happens at 12:30? Boom, big break back up to the upside. It happens almost every time, guys. It was so clean today. So again, you don't need to make 500% on these trades, okay? Focus on getting out with a win, okay? I took 25% on this trade. I bought calls at 36 cents. I got out at 45, okay? It was a 25% win for me. 25%, some people look at that and like, he's only 25%. I would have liked 100. Yeah, everybody likes 100. Guys, if you can get 25% a day over the course of a week, it's 125% a week. Okay? Do that consistently. I'm not saying you're going to get 25% every single day, but work on that consistency of trying to do that. Okay? And I'm not saying 25% is your target. If you get 10%, great. You get 5%, great. Those are all wins. Try and stay in the green. But 25% a day, you think that's minuscule on an option, but 25% a day gets you 125% a week. That's 500% a month, guys. It adds up, and we just don't look at things like that all the time. 500% over a year is 6,000%. Would you take 6,000% in a year? Would you take 1,000% in a year? Take 5 or 10% a day. But follow the strategy. Follow your rules. Make sure you have those rules in place, and that will lead you to consistent trades. But this is what I'm talking about. So we had that big run down, then we get this chop here, and then we start to move up. And I think I bought my call somewhere in here, and I sold somewhere in here. Okay, so this strategy is not strat based. This Fed meeting strategy is not strat based. It's something completely different. It's something that I came across with G Knots, is another FinTwit guy. He didn't have any videos, so I've completed the videos for it, but it works. This strategy works, and we're going to do it the next time it happens. We're going to do it again, and we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it again, because probability and history tells us that that's the way we play it. And I always tell you guys to play this strategy in particular small, but it works, okay? It consistently works, okay? I'm going to take this time. If you guys have questions while we're still here, you can ask the questions now. If you have questions about a chart, about a ticker, about the strategy, ask me now, and we'll go through them. I'll give you guys like 30 seconds if you want to pop your questions on there if you have them. If you're watching this as a recorded video, leave those questions down below. Join the Discord. That link is in the description. I'll talk about the membership. It's $50 a month. You buy 2 months, you get a month free. You get this indicator, okay? You get the Griswold Strat indicator with that. You get a one-on-one with me. There's a 1-hour Strat course. I've created a 1-hour course for you guys to run through every part of this strategy to help you guys become successful. That's part of the membership. Some people sell courses and memberships and indicators. I've compiled all this stuff to make it easy for you guys into one cheap membership. It's $50. You'll get paid in one trade. You'll pay for it in one trade based off of this strategy, okay? There's live trading bots that are in there, and a bunch of other really great things. So make sure you guys check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, just join the Discord. The Discord's free. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. I don't see any questions on there, so I am going to check out. Good luck trading tomorrow, guys. If you guys have questions throughout the day, make sure you guys ask them, okay? Marlon B., you the man. Okay, thanks for always tuning in. Marlon's always tuning in, so I appreciate that. Always commenting and everything else. Yeah, Chris Henry, thanks for the stream, no problem. Chris Tarver says 2 hour was a 212 down, I believe. Good channel, by the way. Thanks, Chris. I'm not sure what you mean by the 2 hour was a 212. Maybe on SPY, is that what you're talking about? Not sure. But good luck trading, guys. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm trying to grow the subscriber count. I want to make this thing big for you guys and for me. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys all on the next one. Bye-bye.